To fully understand why so many cities have a Chinatown today, we'll have to go all the way back to the mid-1840s. Around that time, things weren't going so well in mainland China. The country had just lost a large and costly conflict against the British, and were ravaged by a series of natural disasters. Famine was widespread. People began leaving China and moving to cities all around the world. One of the most popular destinations was San Francisco. Racist laws, like the Chinese Exclusion Act, meant that people coming to the West Coast from China were mostly shunned and forced to clump into small areas alongside other Chinese immigrants. Over time, those areas became known as Chinatowns. So it's not so much that new immigrants demanded their own area. They really had no other choice. Many parts of town simply wouldn't sell a house to a Chinese person, and intermarriage was forbidden. San Francisco's Chinatown is the very first one, and where the term came from. It was coined by the local media. Nowadays, Chinatowns are well known for their pagoda roofs, intricate entrance gates, and colorful storefronts. But it wasn't always that way. For many years, San Francisco's Chinatown pretty much looked like the rest of the city, except for maybe some of the signs. For someone unfamiliar with the area, you might not even notice much of a difference at all. But all that changed in 1906. That's the year that a devastating earthquake shook San Francisco to its core. Buildings crumbled, streets cracked, and fires destroyed just about everything that was left, including Chinatown. And in the aftermath, things didn't get much better for the former residents of the old Chinatown. Why? Well, the powers that be in the city saw the disaster as an opportunity. With rubble still in the streets and the city still smoldering, they cooked up a plan. The city leaders decided to completely relocate Chinatown to a new, much less desirable part of the city, leaving prime real estate behind for white-owned businesses to take over instead. Nice. The mayor of San Francisco hired an architect and an urban designer and began drawing up his vision for a new, beautiful city, with its Chinese residents very much pushed off to the side. Now the city suddenly needed to build a brand new Chinatown from scratch. A local Chinese-American businessman named Look Tin Eli hired an architect and an engineer to design and head up the project. The problem was, neither man had ever stepped foot in China. Neither of them had any idea what the country looked like, so they relied on centuries-old images and ideas to design a modern Chinatown. The plans that were drawn up ended up being an awkward mishmash of old Chinese motifs mixed with a turn-of-the-century American's idea of what China might look like. In other words, it wasn't very Chinese at all. And that wasn't by accident. The designers and city leaders wanted to try and drum up business and attract tourists by making Chinatown feel exotic. And it worked. Tourists came from far and wide to see the unique new neighborhood, and maybe spend some cash along the way. Today, Chinatown is an enduring and ever-evolving symbol of a long, strange journey lots of immigrants have to take to find acceptance in a new country, even to this day.